So I've wanted to aim train for a while. I think my aim could be better, and I'd like it to be better. I've started playing some more shooters, and it's come to my realization that yes, game sense could get me further, but my raw aim is not the best. So I've decided to take it upon myself to start recording every session of Kovaaks I do and dumb it down into a short video of my weekly progress, where I improved, what I did better at, what I did worse at. So I'm going to pop on screen now what my week 0 stats are, quote unquote, because I had about 20 hours of Kovacs before I started doing this. And I'm not the worst aimer ever. I'm not going to say I am. I have silver complete, and I'm a few categories into gold, but I am stuck. I do need to start actually being more consistent because I can't get past these. And I need to take accountability and realize that it is me that's the issue. So I can't just play a team game and then say, oh, well, I'm stuck in gold because my team sucks. I can't get past silver because I'm not good enough. There is no throwing the blame on someone else in this situation. So how I think most people go through this, and how I'll be doing it too, is by doing VDIM, which is Voltaic's daily improvement method, specifically for Season 5, the most recent season, made by Low Gravity 56 and 4RK. If you're unfamiliar, a brief rundown of what this is exactly is take each staple of aiming day by day. So Monday and Tuesday, you're going to be working on clicking. Wednesday and Thursday, you're going to do some playlists focused on tracking. And Friday, Saturday, you're going to do switching playlists, which may just sound like the same thing, but it's kind of a mixture of both. And then on Sunday, it's up to you whether you want to focus on grinding out the benchmarks to see how you've improved in general, or if you want to focus on your weakest category, which for me is tracking. Beyond that, you also have your rank distributions. So there are 5 different tiers of the VDIM playlist, which is entry, novice, intermediate, advanced, and elite. So unranked players, or people that are up to bronze, usually go to entry. Novice, which is the playlist I'll be doing, is for bronze complete up to gold. Intermediate's gold complete to master. Advanced is for players from master complete up to nova. And elite is for players aspiring to get Astra or higher. So what that means exactly is, don't expect many people to be playing the elite playlist ever. Astra's insane. I'm aiming for master, so the end of the intermediate playlist. I might do more, depending, but I think master's a pretty good stopping point. Another thing about the VDIM playlist that discourages people is that the VDIM playlist is fairly long. You have to dedicate about an hour and a half a day to it if you want to do it in its entirety. Or you can do what I do, which is on most days you're going to hear me say that I do not have the time, because I don't have the time. And you can have the option to just do one of each sequence. Because some sequences they want you to do 4+ times. But if you just don't have the time for it, at least get a little bit of everything done. You'll probably progress slower, but it works differently for everyone. I don't think it matters too much. If you don't want to dedicate a full hour and a half every day, don't. But try your best not to miss a whole day. Even a half hour is better than nothing. Now all the explanations are out of the way, I can finally start touching on the fact that what you're watching right now is the footage from Monday, so the first click training playlist. Not much to talk about here, because of the fact that I think this is still my best category. I know I could be faster. I'm sure you can see that I could be faster. I still miss. That's to be expected. I'm still silver in this category. It's just the one I am most consistent with. I find that my scores do not get the highest required to hit gold, but I am very consistent at maintaining a very close average with these challenges. I also often rank in the 40th percentile and higher in these challenges, whereas in tracking you will see later what I actually rank in for things I struggle with. So with Monday out of the way, let's move on to Tuesday, given that there's not much to talk about, and there probably won't be for Tuesday either. So Tuesday, yet more clicking focused activities. You can see on the occasion I will reset as soon as the challenge starts, just because I had a bad start and I would like to get a more honest attempt. In a way that's not honest, I should probably just play it out, and I decide to here because you can see me missing fairly constantly. I'm good at static clicking. When it comes to tracking a target, again, tracking is my weak suit, and this is a clicking challenge. And you'll see here that this is one of the clicking challenges I did the worst on, because it integrates something I'm not very good at, and I land in the 8th percentile, which is not good if you're not sure what that means. It doesn't mean I'm in the top 8%, it means I'm in the bottom 8%. So I decided to give this one another go, because I could have done better. Also, you'll notice that since it's my second attempt, I have this little meter that fills up. The white arrow indicates how much time I have left, and the green is if I'm doing better or worse. That is lovingly called the choke meter in the community, and I'll be leaving it on for content, but also because if I turn it off, that's not going to teach me any good habits. It might teach me a bad habit about games, actually. Because let's say you're playing, I don't know, a hero shooter, and you gotta defend the payload, and you're in overtime. If that meter throws you off your game that bad, who's to say other meters won't either? So I'm just going to leave it on for the sake of, I don't know, progression. This meter also won't appear in most of Tuesday because I never actually played the Novice Tuesday playlist. I played the entry-level one. So this will be my first time actually running through it, so I'm not familiar with all scenarios yet. So I'm still not sure how to format this video. I've been thinking about it for the past couple days, and I think that what I want to do is show off what I am worst at and briefly cover everything that I've done. So for Tuesday, honestly, there's not too much to talk about. I could work faster on my flicking and my clicks. My tracking is bad, so I'm having a hard time doing that. My target recognition is pretty good, meaning I click when I'm on a target fairly quickly, but I do have a lot of small micro corrections, and I noticed that. I still need to figure out if I want to do one good run or one bad run from each day. I think that's what I'll start dissecting this as for the week by weeks, is that each day will get a full minute uninterrupted conversation on my best and my absolute worst. Now let's talk about what is the bane of my existence and the biggest problem I have, which is tracking, especially just smooth tracking. I have adjusted my sensitivities over and over again. I went from a sensitivity that is almost 4 times higher than I'm currently on now because I was too small of a mouse pad. I've fixed that now. This is going to take so much work to work out because you'll notice that I have this little stutter when I aim. It's me trying to predict where they're going, even though I know it's just a straight line. But I do it in both directions, so I know for a fact it's just me doing predictions and not keeping a constant pace. I don't know how long that's going to take to work through, but I know if I'm aware of it, I should get past it. Alright, as much as I'd love to gloss over this, I have to look at my weaknesses too, and this is the worst I have done. This is called centering, and it usually revolves around a very tiny target. Unfortunately, due to my stuttery aim and prediction issue, I can't stay on it for very long. Unfortunately, I didn't have game audio, so you can't hear when the hit sounds are happening, but you can just watch the accuracy tick down and move up and tick down. I did this, and I was like, okay, everyone else must be having as hard of a time as me. There's no way I'm doing this horribly. I ended up landing in the 10th percentile, so I am in the bottom 10% of this challenge. And I did try it again, and don't worry, I did worse. And worse. Now, another thing that playing my worst categories has taught me is that you have to learn the routine too. Because this is a great example of me not knowing how to do the routine properly with also some bad tracking, because it is. You can see the white streaks, those are me missing. Any white streaks on that wall, that's a shot that hit the wall. My lack of understanding in this got me in the 2nd percentile. The 2% worst players at this challenge. The second time around went a fair amount smoother, if I recall. Tracking challenges are kind of a take what I can get. I landed in the 12th percentile the second time around, and I accepted that as fine. I think anything in this 2-digit range I will take, because I am just not very good at it, as you can see. Thursday is another tracking scenario day, and I can only beat a dead horse so much. This is a good example of looking at my micro corrections and my stuttering, because the wall is being painted a lot more than that target is. And this is what I need to improve on, is reactionary. I'm not reacting, I'm predicting. And I don't think that's what you're supposed to be doing at all. On top of that, I have a hard time keeping a constant set of motion on the target. And that will reflect in a lot of my challenges outside of even this one. And here's a little more footage of me peppering a wall in a scenario that is a little too tough for me, I think. I'm too prediction heavy. I can't react to that. I'm literally just moving left to right. I thought I was doing much better when I was doing it, but watching it back, I understand why I'm doing as bad as I am now. But that's kind of the point of this. It isn't just to embarrass myself. It's partly that. But it's also so I can analyze it, even while I'm editing this video. And it's interesting, because I really did think I was doing a lot better. This scenario is a good example of reactionary. I think I'm okay at close range reactionary. I mean, yes, I'm painting the wall a lot, but it's also a very fast target. I'm on a very low sensitivity. I play on, well, not super low, 40 centimeters for a 360. I don't really know how to correlate that to any games that you play, but it's kind of in the middle. It's not as fast as a Battle Royale or a hero shooter sensitivity normally, but it's not as slow as a CSGO or Valorant sensitivity, if that makes sense. I do find that a lot of the records I have set were on my old sensitivity, which is a lot faster, so there is also a lot of recovery of muscle memory and getting used to the new lower sensitivity I play on, which overall has been an improvement for me. But I did neglect tracking. I played the things I was the best at first, and I should have focused on the thing I was the worst at. So that is a lesson learned, because as you can see, that score is suffering, and that score that I set prior was from my old sensitivity, not my new one. So I'm not super sure what to show anymore. I've kind of dissected all of the issues I really had. I think I will stick to the format idea I had earlier of doing one good, one bad of each day, because right now this video is kind of a mess, and I am just kind of rambling. So I'm going to let you see me try to shoot this ball for a while. You can watch me paint the wall a little more, and then I'll figure out what I'm doing for Friday's dissection. So Friday is a great example of me saying I don't have a lot of time to do things. My Friday recording is 8 minutes. I could leave it all into this video. It's shorter than the video already is. I did, on Saturday, play through Friday and Saturday's stuff. They're all kind of the same, so I'll gloss over both days as the same thing. Because Friday I technically didn't really learn anything, but Saturday I learned a few things. So I will say that it may not look like it, but because of the tracking challenges I did earlier, my target recognition, where I stop on things, I don't do nearly as many micro adjustments as I used to. Now, of course, like that's a bad example, I just saw one, but of course if I nitpick, I'm going to see as many as I want. The point is, I do know I'm improving. This was another challenge that was set on a higher sensitivity. I feel like anything for this week is set on a higher sensitivity than my current, so it's just relearning. I am doing better. I know I am doing better. Because of the extra time I had today, I did go through some of the challenges twice, just to try to set better scores after learning them, and that's usually the way you want to do it. It's hard to get a new personal best on your first try of the day, every single day, because you're rusty, you gotta warm up. If you don't have any warm-up games, of course your first trials are going to suffer. You might never break PBs, but if you do start breaking PBs without warming up, that's a really good sign. Overall, a lot of my switching challenges went fairly well. I was very close to my personal bests on old sensitivities. I set new records quite a few times, or personal bests for myself, and that's a good sign that my flicking and micro flicking are getting better, because that's what a lot of this is. I typically rank in the mid 30s to low 40 percentiles in this category, which is great. I know there are people that are still a lot better than me, and the difference between a 100th percentile and a 40 is astronomical. But it's still nice to be able to contrast, compare, and accept that it's not the worst thing ever to be in the low range of the median. It doesn't mean you're the worst. Honestly, overall, I was actually very satisfied with my performance today. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I played a lot more, because I had to do Fridays and then Saturdays, so that has, of course, a weight to it. But it also could be bad, because what if I burn myself out? What if I start to tense up my wrist too much, or my arm, when I'm trying to concentrate? Which is another thing I need to pay attention to, is I need to relax more. Because if I don't relax more, of course the tension is going to cause my arm to hurt faster. I can play a shooter for 8 hours a day, not have that happen once. I play Kovaaks for 30 minutes to an hour, and my arm starts tensing up because I am focusing too hard and I'm not paying attention to relaxing my muscles. Of course, I am beginning to realize that this video is getting a little long. It's a little longer than I would have wanted it to be. Close to the range. But I still have to talk about Sunday, which Sunday is your freebie day. So I'll get back to you once I've done everything I want to do for that, which I think is going to be to grind out benchmarks, because I really, really would like to start trying Platinum. But if I'm not there yet, I'm just not there yet. Alright, that time has come, and unfortunately, no, I'm not ready for Platinum yet. So to summarize, I made a few increased scores throughout Sunday, and to be honest, I did okay. They're only slightly improved. I could have done a lot better overall, but I do notice that my averages are higher in general, which means that progress is still being made. I am, however, still making the same silly mistakes I normally do. Like you can see here, I still overflick, I overcorrect, I miss shots, which, yeah, missing shots isn't really a mistake per se. That's going to happen to anybody, even top players. But I still have room for improvement. Overall, though, I have polished out a lot of the issues I have with aiming mechanics and improper techniques, so I'm satisfied with that. I can handle having lower scores. I can't set a new PB every single time, and it's unrealistic to get a new high score every single time, too. So I guess that's kind of the gist of it. I'm going to throw up my new scores for the benchmarks and maybe do a side-by-side, because that way I can compare. So for reference, here was the old scores, and here is the new scores. So over the week, there was a sign of improvement in every single category, or at least mostly every category. All things considered, going from 377 to 399 Silver Complete does show that I have made some progress on a kind of meta-progressive way, but it is nice to visually see that I didn't do just nothing and that nothing improved at all the entire week. A lot of those new high scores and records were set during the days specified for the challenges, so Monday, for example, was clicking challenges, and there are 3 benchmark challenges in each day. So the 6 days of the required stuff has 3 of the 18 challenges. And so you get a chance to try them as you're learning the new skill sets. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing this to hold myself accountable. It's mostly for me. I don't really expect a lot of people to watch this, but if you did, I do appreciate it. It's nice, and I hope it inspires you at the very least to, pick it back up if you ever put it down, or to try it for the first time if you did. I have about 200-ish, 300 hours into first-person shooters on the PC specifically, and I still struggle. I know people with thousands of hours will breeze right through it and already be gold complete in the time I have. I have about 30 hours on Kovaaks at the end of this recording, so there's definitely still a lot of room to improve. But also, if you don't want to aim train, just play the game you like too. This is more just to get it done faster. I'd like to improve quicker and then learn the game mechanics of the games I enjoy to play, instead of focusing on both my aim and my game mechanics at the same time, if that makes sense. So, until next week, I'll try to get these out weekly. That way I can at least hold myself accountable, A, in a video editing standpoint, and B, in a actual progression standpoint, because I'm doing pretty decent, at least trying a little, but most of the days I played, I only got about 30 minutes, which isn't too much to go through for footage, at the very least. But again, thanks, and I'll see you next week.